where most people give up, right? So I love that you're not giving up. I love that we're reinventing it. I love that you're looking at a new possibility to go, I've got to reinvent this business because that business is dying. And everyone wants to be the hero. How can you be the hero in your community? How can you be the hero for this group, whatever your advocacy is? I just dropped the mic. I'm dropping the mic. Something that came up for me is that there's collaboration. When you look at newspapers, you know, that we all know, dying breed, but the education that you had inside of it, from educating in the community, educating from what's happening, the other newspaper that you have with the what do we do to entertain. I think there's a huge opportunity that how do we entertain on COVID, right? How do we still stay connected? How do we still stay? And there's businesses that are trying to figure that out, right? And what people are afraid of is how do we do this safely? And so I had this conversation with one of my students. You know, they have a massage studio and people don't want to go work there and people don't want to come there because they're afraid. Well, the only thing that's missing is when people have fear is communication, right? And over communicate to go, how do I communicate this message so that they know my business is a safe business, her business is a safe business. What's the protocol that we're doing? The restaurants, it's a safe business. What's the protocol that we're using? And so when I think about that, the one peer article that you didn't do last year, but this year, it's about really educating the community on what are the safe things that can do, and then have the businesses spotlight those businesses. So it's really, what do you call it? When you write an article but it's really advertising, what do we call
it?
Advertorial, yeah. So it's more advertorial versus advertising. It's not just their name in the paper, right? And if you pick 10 of those businesses, right, and if we charge $1,000, $1,200, that's 10 grand, right, just in generating some income from that. But we could do that every month, right? And shifting the way we do business. Right. And I know what we're spending in Google ads and Facebook ads, and there's still something to be said about online and tangible to go, let's really get with the time. Let's really get with what our consumers want, right? Which is, how do I take care of my family? How do we still have some kind of enjoyment? What parks are open? What parks are slated to be open? You know, there's so much possibility there. I think what we can do, Diane, with our GLP, and so when you're in GLP, you guys, we have access to people, is really create a focus group to go, okay, I need to get that. Josie will be in that focus group. I'll be on that focus group. Hillary is an amazing writer and an advocate. She could be on that focus group if she chooses, right? To just get different brain share. So you have this global reach versus this small town, right, in Wisconsin. To go, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Now that your whole team will have this new excitement about what we're creating, moving into, 2021, to go, let's shift how we're giving this content. If you look at all those businesses that were, you were putting in the paper before, there's education in everything. And to go, how do I create this to be this education vehicle for our community? How can I be the voice of the community? How can we be the voice for the community? Because that's what people are really looking for. People who are being leaders and standing up and standing out are the businesses that are winning. People that are throwing this, not waiting to see what's going to happen, but going, I'm just going to try, right? We spent time and money just trying every different aspect of marketing to stay in front of our consumer and being radical, right? Being radical in our referral marketing, being radical in our digital marketing, being radical in our social media marketing. We were so radical, Diane. Facebook put us in Facebook jail 3 times. They shut us down 3 separate times. We would come to the meeting and go, okay, we got kicked out again. Right. And I'm like, I must be doing something right. They're kicking me out. Right. Right. Delzenia, it's like when I get kicked out of a club or something, I'm stirring stuff up. So we just had to figure out, great, well, what's the rules? What's the game? How do I play the game and not give up, where most people give up? Right. So I love that you're not giving up. I love that we're reinventing it. I love that you're looking at a new possibility to go, I've got to reinvent this business because that business is dying, and to go and create that resurgence. Yes, Miss Hillary. With your pronouns.
Oh, yes, I have my pronouns.
I'm like, wait, it's a
Diane,
pronoun, right?
yes, that's a pronoun. Diane, as a writer, I'd like to share something with you that might be of value to you. So do
Great.
you write, or are you on
Yes.
the business side? You write?
Well, I have all the hats. I mean, I
Okay.
know that Susie talks about if you want to sell, your name can't be against any one of the operations or whatever. But yes, I write the editorials, I sell the advertising, I run the business.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I do it
great.
all.
So I'm hearing you say that for multiple generations, your family has been a trusted kind of name and voice.
Yes.
And I'm a little sleepy, so I'm struggling for a word, but your community organizes itself around you, your family, right? To some degree.
Yes, the paper was started in 1874, and the
Okay.
Newspaper Association believes we may be the oldest continuously published paper in our state. There are older papers, but there were gaps in months or years.
Okay.
And this coming year, our family will have published the paper 70 years. So I'm trying to figure out there might be something special we can do about that.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I'm very proud of our paper. We've won national awards as well as state awards.
That's amazing. And to have that long family history is just fantastic. And so to me, at a time when people are struggling to know what the truth is and are struggling to orient themselves, and when our democracy may be falling apart, you as a professional communicator, like lots of times we've got our heads down and we're not thinking about this, but you're a professional communicator. And I think that you can add to your community, you can offer kind of a priceless service in helping people figure out how to be right now, what to believe, how to be, how to, and how to move forward together. And so I hear a tremendous amount of possibility about information that comes to you, that you have access to, that the rest of the world doesn't have. Like as writers, we have access to experts, we have press releases coming in, we've been thinking about these things for years. And so I can imagine you repackaging something really close to you that you don't even realize that you know into really valuable offerings to your community, and perhaps putting them behind a paywall, some of them behind a paywall or in membership or something like that. But like you and I, we can create content, and that's a really powerful thing. And you are a multi-generational trusted voice. And I think it would be really easy for you to get people to subscribe to whatever membership thing you're considering. So I just wanted to
Thank
say
you.
that.
That's very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know we need to change and be the information source for our community rather than just the newspaper. And if I don't get giddy up and have a website and digital products, somebody else will. So I gotta help too.
Well, here's the beauty, and what Hillary's saying and what you're saying is you don't have to create it all yourself, right? If you create the town halls, meaning you get the people there on a platform like we're doing, right now. The great thing is now we're a global economy for real, right? The small business before, we've all said we're global. Like I had a global training company. We were international, salon training international. And then the first time somebody said, great, do you have a French trainer, someone who speaks French? I'm like, no, but I can go there and speak. It was like, it didn't even occur to me, right? I was like, I need a French trainer, right? I need bilingual trainers like that. Hello, if you're going to call yourself international, you better be ready to go international and have international trainers, right? So I had to immediately find international trainers. But now we truly have a global economy where we can attract so much more. And the beauty is if you create the town halls and you look at what does our community need, right? From community advocacy, if you look at the racial tension that's happening in our country today, like how do I weed through this, right? When you look at everything that's occurring, there's a class for it. And that class, we have experts in GLP, we have experts in this community. You just have to tell us what topics do you need. And we have the experts that can show up, teach, and you get a revenue share, right? You can get a 50% revenue share on anything that's online. Offline stuff, is a little, your revenue share will be lower, but you don't have to create it all. You just have to curate it and get the people there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then now you become an immediate trusted advisor for us, right? So if I look at what Hillary's teaching in the world, to come and speak to a community that maybe she would have never met, like now you become the hot commodity because you're connecting us with people who want to hear this content and hear this information. All we have to create is the house, you know, that town hall that stores it, but you don't have to create all the content. We curate all that content. And now your business is completely transformed overnight. Like literally tomorrow, you could say, what do you guys want to hear? And we could have 7 to 10 experts at your doorstep going, okay, when can we teach? Okay, when can we do that?
Very cool.
Isn't that exciting? And then Josie's team, and Josie does all that back end stuff. So you can stay on the front end, right? Making all the systems happen and building funnels and you know, getting that communication out, you know, and we become like you've always done. You've done sales, you've done, you know, sold advertising. Same. It's just now the advertising is shifting to educational advertising versus just an ad and a piece of paper.
Sure.
Right. Delicious. Yes. I'm telling you, man, God just laid that on me this last night. I'm like, I got to talk to Diane. When I know we have a call soon. I'm like, when is our call? So I'm so glad we're having this conversation now.
I know there's others on this call, but may I just ask one more question?
Yes.
This tourism guide that we're going to do again,
Yeah.
lake issue.
Yes.
Do you have suggestions about what other things I could offer besides the print publication? We do have a website that's mainly just a directory of the businesses that are in here, but more and more tourists are coming to our area of the state. Tourism is a $19 billion industry in our state. And I have about 200, almost 300 advertisers in this product.
Yeah, so I belong to, I'm trying to see if I can get the magazine up. So Enterprising Women is a networking organization, and she gives awards every year. And so her magazine is online, but she sells advertising, and then she has different guest speakers, and she gets a revenue share. And her biggest moneymaker is she does these awards every year. And the awards, she's awarding top business people in our community and in our tribe, right? So to qualify to win the award. So then now, like if you look at her magazine, there's no print magazine anymore. She got rid of that. She got rid of it years ago, right? So again, now taking it all online, and how we're going to advertise this is through your social media. It's through your Facebook group. It's through Google ads, so we can reach more people, right? So like if you're bringing in other experts, if you bring in me to speak, now we're attracting a whole new community to your readership. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So really, I'm a Xerox machine. Let me look at what works well. You know, she's got a great readership. She's still selling advertising inside of her magazine. It has a beautiful magazine feel, right?
Well, it's beautiful, very clean.
You know, so again, your team can see this is what I want to create. I don't have to know how to create it, but Josie knows how to create it. And she has a team member that knows how to create it. I don't know how to do it. Josie's team does. Guarantee it. Yes, Josie? Yes.
Really glad you're on, Josie.
That's this community, right? Then you come on a Big Money Business Summit and you go, Susie, these are the experts I need. And then we go, okay, so Diane's looking for these experts, but you have to have a product because we want to offer it to her community, right? We don't want just to be the speaker. You got to have something that we're selling because that has to be a revenue stream for you. So we put the whole financial projection together to go, what's my revenue stream? And then what's my revenue stream from my experts, right? And then Josie's team, again, helps us put those follow-up campaigns once every person speaks. Josie's the one that gets people and captures them by what she does for my business, right? It's still my business, but I'm paying her to do that for me so that I'm staying in my lane. This is my lane to talk and to get people and go, come. She promises the moon, I deliver the moon, right? And the stars, right? So it's about that collaboration. So that we're not doing this ourselves, you guys. My job is to go, how do I go make more money to pay for Josie and her team, right? How do I make more money to pay for Sam so I can stay in my lane, right? I think when times like this come about, we start scrunching and we do save, right? We are managing our budget, but to go, what do I need to sell so that I don't want to put a drip campaign together, poke a needle in my eye. Don't make me do it. Please don't make me do it. Don't make me edit. I didn't even know the pronoun. I'm calling an acronym before with Hillary, right? Oh, it's a pronoun. She's like, well, I love my community. Susie, no, you sound like a ding dong. It's a pronoun. I'm not afraid to say that, right? So you are in the right place. You have been divinely led, and we got you. You just have to go, what do we want to create?
Thank you.
Right?
Very
Yeah.
exciting.
Again, we can be Xerox machines to go, I like this concept. This is where we're going to take our periodical, right? Because it's the newspaper, but now we're leveraging it to a magazine. Now, Diane, you're creating a whole new legacy for your family from 1874, right? Delzenia said it. We love that you've been a pillar in the community and a cornerstone in that community. Like, let's now take it into the 20th century with a magazine online. That is delicious. And girl, we got you covered in content. Covered in content. What I got you for days is content. Every person on this call could give you some gems in content, right? From my coaches, right, to my team, to different experts. That's what's juicy, is you don't have to go, who do I know? You're dialed in already because you're in the tribe and the community, right? And I'm happy to introduce you to Monica Smiley, who owns this periodical, To Talk Business. She is a blessing and a beautiful woman and a beautiful soul. And she loves helping entrepreneurs.
Oh, I'd like to meet her very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you go, I need to have a conversation just to pick her brain, because she's been doing this for 20, 22, 25 years and have, like all of us, have to keep reinventing it. And they go, what is your revenue? Her sponsorship is, once you get in magazine, now we can do sponsorship, right? Once you get into events, now we can do sponsorship. You already have those relationships. We just need to repackage it. So I want you to look at each of you, right? We have relationships. How can I repackage what I've been doing and now sell it differently, Delzenia, right? Getting sponsorship to sponsor, your artwork to help our community, right? When I look at women at risk, we don't have money. I didn't have money when I was that woman. When I was going to a shelter trying to find, I got denied. Like, we can't help you. I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, because I didn't have the money, or the resources, or it wasn't in a hard case situation. So they got, I got denied when I went to a battered home, for women. To like, how do you get denied? I thought, like, this makes no sense to me. But it happens. Like, there's criteria. So creating a sponsorship package where we're sponsoring women to create this art, or sponsoring shelters to do this art, might be an easier sell, right? Because the women that you want to help, they one, they don't have the self-esteem to invest that much in themselves. Two, they don't have the resources to invest in themselves. So we have to be more creative to go, how do I have my community help women? It becomes a community cause versus a one-on-one cause. It's our community's responsibility. And you have enough stories in your arsenal of women who've overcome, for one, that I become the voice, right? When you look at Halise becomes the voice of, we wanted to commit suicide and we got help, right? I was a battered woman and I got helped, right? To go, because when you're in that situation, you never see yourself out of that situation. You're like, this is my life. This is who I am. And I believe it is our community's responsibility to help people, give them either the resources or the tools or the education so that our communities can be stronger, our women can be stronger, our men can be stronger, and our children can be stronger, right? A lot of people are never taught boundaries. Boundaries, what are boundaries, right? I still have a hard time. What's a boundary?
It'd be a good role for our family's paper to
right?
launch those things.
I have a suggestion of what I hear for Diane. Because of the history, I feel like she needs to be interviewed, and her history talked about, that it has spanned from the 1800s. From the 1800s, she's still standing.
Yeah.
And that's mega in today's day of it's gone in a minute. That's epic. And that needs to be fortified and talked about and shown that that's a foundation that has stood and is still standing and will continue to stand by community coming together and being of service.
Thank you. It's very uplifting to me. Thank you.
Yeah, and Coach Benita, do you want to share what you just posted in the chat, Benita?
Yes, I just said that's a book, Diane. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a great topic for a book, and values and community. So we've already got a book idea for you. Now we just need to get it written.
Right, and then the book, we create the movement with the book, right? So like with Delzenia, we create a movement around our art. We're selling art, but we're really creating a movement. It's not about a piece of art on the wall. It's about what that art does for a woman, what that art does for my community. Like her art changes communities because she's giving skill set and therapy and, you know, these amazing tools to women that had never had them before. Right. So you create a movement around the book and a social responsibility. And if you look at businesses that are winning right now and thriving right now, have a social consciousness. Right. So that's why I talk about tribe and community. That's a Maslow's hierarchy of need, that third prong, which is belonging. Right. We want to belong to something, but something with a good cause. Right. People get involved in politics, but it's just kind of anger and fighting. Well, no one's rallying right now. Everybody's fighting. So what can be that rally cry that we can create, right? For you, Delzenia, the rally cry is your art, but the art is what the effect of the art, the effect of the training, the effect of helping battered women, abused women, sexually abused women, and boldly saying it, and getting corporations to sponsor that now.
And
right?
kind of one of my little slogans is art from the heart heals.
Yes.
So I really, and you know, heart is very important to me in working.
I like that idea about corporations, because that would be money that we wouldn't be able to attract for the newspaper, but it would support what we're doing. And I really don't want to go out of business. I don't want my town to be a news desert. And that's an amazing issue now. I mean, there's a county in my state, Menominee County, has no newspaper in the whole county. And so who's covering the school board or
Right.
city council? Or
Wow.
so yes, very important to keep a paper in a community.
Yeah, the paper / magazine, right? Let's up level it to, it's really your voice. It's our community voice, and you can do this city, this city, this city, right? And all come together under one umbrella.
Sure.
Right? To go, wow, here's the difference it can make. So find what that need is, the biggest need in the community, and let's create advocacy around that, and having corporations sponsor. Delzenia, do you have a sponsor package? Okay, that's your next, right? So I'll send you a sample of a sponsor package, because really, Delzenia, just like Diane, we need to create a sponsor package so we can get bigger dollars, right? So we can get $10,000 at a time versus $500 or $100 at a time. $100 isn't paying your rent, right? These trickle donations or these trickle things. We need big money to be able to give you the freedom to help more people. Right. So a sponsor package will allow you to communicate that and have a company stand behind that. You just Google companies that support high-risk women, abused women, whoever has that on their mission statement, on their in their website. Those are the people that we hit first, is to go, hey, I notice you already support this community. Here's what I do, you know, and art from the heart. To go, this is a healing way. This is a great way. We'll create the artwork for your company. And then we'll advertise it in our local newspapers globally and nationally, right? Let me tell you who I know, right? So it's all about the corporations, and Diane can speak to this too, about what people are looking for when they advertise. It's all about exposure and leverage, and everyone wants to be the hero. How can you be the hero in your community? How can you be the hero for this group, whatever your advocacy is? I just dropped the mic. I'm dropping the mic.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Dropping the
Thank
mic.
you.
Artwork around that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but can you imagine if whatever women we get, they're creating this art for this corporation that sponsored them?
Mhm.
Like, come on, everyone's tired of cheesy art. They get arts from, they're buying it online. It's cheesy art, right? So like, why I have my words on my wall? I didn't want cheesy art. I wanted art with meaning. I wanted something that meant something to me versus some cheesy art, right? Corporations are no different, right? They spend millions in graphic design. They spend millions in imaging and branding. This is just one more brand that gets so much press and PR, which is, what difference are you making in your community? That's what we all want, and we're spending, as business owners, you guys, we're spending thousands to sponsor, thousands to be seen, to be heard, to get paid, with no guarantee of I'll get seen, get heard, get paid, right? If it's the right audience, right? Which community is the right audience for corporations, right? Doing good in the world, making a difference in the world. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars available.